Hello guys, welcome back to Let's Go Far Together. My name is Alfonso Lopez Alba and I'm really glad to have you back. Today, we're not going to talk much about things on the board or training, honestly, because watching those Champions League games, my gosh, there's really nothing else to talk about. It was so wonderful. I really hope that you guys seen the games. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you watched at least the highlights for those of you who don't really enjoy watching the games. But I warn you, those were going to be great storylines, and we got a lot of them. We, if you didn't see my previous video about my predictions, you got to go back and look at it because I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now. I know my head's getting this big, but let's start with the first one: Galatasaray against Liverpool. I think Liverpool. I thought Liverpool would go through. They did lose 1-0 on the away at Galatasaray's home. Now I do think at Anfield they'll turn it around. They should be capable enough to turn it around. But like I said, this is a very, very different Liverpool than what it was last season. But I still back them to get through against Galatasaray. Uh, it just seems like Osimhen is trying to do everything, and that's not going to last long enough. The other one, Newcastle against Barcelona, they drew 1-1 at St. James's Park, and I think the Camp Nou, Barcelona will take it away. I think they are too strong. Newcastle left themselves with a chance. I think that's one of the tricky ones. And we got another storyline on this that we can talk about in another video. But sticking with this schedule and these games, I still think Barcelona will go through. And I might be wrong about that one because it's a close one. And Newcastle have speed and attack. Gordon will probably be in better shape and might start the second game. And all those Murphy as well. Those guys have speed and they can get in behind Barcelona's high line. But Atletico Madrid against Tottenham Hotspurs. My goodness, if you guys watched that game, poor goalkeeper, 17 minutes. The kid has not played since like October. And he gets thrown into this Champions League game against Atletico de Madrid with Griezmann, Larraña, all this Lookman, all these guys, and just gets so many things wrong, poor guy. And no one even put an arm around him except for a couple players. The coach just kind of subbed him off the 17 minutes, which was probably the right thing to do given that his head was gone. But I hope the lad's all right. He's only 22 years old and he'll have a long career ahead of him. He just has to put this one behind him. But Atletico Madrid smashed him 5-2. 5-2, guys. That's there's no coming back from that. You would think in normal conditions there is, but you have to be a better team, and Tottenham are not that good of a team. If it was Bayern, I believe Bayern had a bad night, but they'll turn it around at home. Tottenham's it's more likely to lose at home than to actually win by 3 and take this to extra time, so any kind of chance. Now Atalanta against Bayern. I went with Bayern, and they practically threw. They could probably afford to play the B team on the second leg at home. Away at Atalanta's home, they won 6-1. It's a 5-goal difference that Atalanta is not going to be able to come back from. And that's pretty sad for the Italian clubs. Like I said, that's the only Italian club at this stage of the competition, and they practically out. And it's pretty rough for Italian football. If you watched it in the 90s, it's a really hard thing to look at and I feel sad about. If you remember Totti, those guys, Del Piero, Pavid, I think it's Pavid Nedved, I think it was the guy's name, from the guy with the gray hair from Juventus. Obviously, Gianluigi Buffon, them guys, Pirlo. I gotta stop. But anyways, I think obviously Bayern are gonna go through. Leverkusen against Arsenal. I honestly thought that Arsenal would win by 1 or 2 goals. I didn't think more than 2 because Arsenal don't score a lot of goals. They just defend really good. They're almost like a Mourinho team. If you didn't know who coached him and who Arteta is a disciple of, you would think that's a Mourinho team. which that speaks good of Arteta, I suppose, that he has been able to make his own style. But for the players Arsenal have, they almost playing with the handbrake on, which is kind of odd to watch. You know, Eze, um, the midfielders Rice, Subimendi, Merino, uh, guys like Saka, Martinelli, Gyökeres, all these guys with so much talent. And like Saka, I think hasn't scored a lot of goals in the last like 16 games. It's pretty rough, but I think they still get through at home. They should be able to. If they not, that's a huge failure for Arteta not to be able to get through against a Leverkusen that has been decimated. They lost Nkapie, they lost Burst, they lost. You can just watch the previous video, but you know they lost a lot of players. They lost their coach. They lost their identity. They had a preseason with the manager. Oh, escaping my mind. But Ten Hag, the guy that was the manager at Manchester United before Amorim, but he got fired. Like I believe it was like a game or 2 games in, or even during the preseason. They had the preseason. They had I think a couple games, and he got fired. It was horrible. But Arsenal should get through. PSG against Chelsea. They copy Tottenham. It's almost like they watch Tottenham and they be like, I want to be like him. Which is a very, very bad thing to do when you're trying to copy Tottenham. No offense to any Spurs fans out there, but that's not the model you should be copying. And they literally went on and changed the goalkeeper because he doesn't believe he has a number one. He just has to like get them to compete against each other, kind of like Arteta did a couple seasons ago with the goalkeeper they had when they brought in Raya. I believe he's in Newcastle now. Forgot his name. Ramsdale. But anyways, he made a few different bad decisions. So much so that if you watch the game, it might not show in the highlights, but if you watch the game, there was a point where Enzo Fernandez was literally like berating him about keep trying to make those short passes. Just tell him to go long. When there's all the pressure, just go long. If you watch the game, you can clearly see that that's what he's indicating, that with his hand gestures to put the ball long when we got so many pressure on us. But anyways, they got tore up. They lost 5-2. Chelsea is one of those teams that have enough, They have Estevao, they have Neto, they have I was going to say Lampard, forgive me for that. Palmer. They have enough good players to score goals. I just don't think they don't concede. Even if they score 3 goals, I think they might concede 2, and this might end up at 7-5. I think there will be a lot of goals in that game. So if you want to watch a game for the second leg, that's one to really watch. That one, and I believe I wouldn't say the Atletico Madrid to Tottenham, because that one's going to be the Barcelona Newcastle. The Barcelona Newcastle and the PSG Chelsea. Those are obviously, and we get to another one. But those 2 I just said, those would be great to watch. Now, Bodo Glimt against Sporting. My guy, if there's ever been a Cinderella story that will make you fall in love with this game, Bodo Glimt. My gosh, it's so wonderful to watch them play. Those guys just started their season or are about to start their season. They're practically on pre-season during the Champions League, and they are about to get rid of Sporting from Portugal. They beat them 3-0 at home, and now they got to go away to Sporting's home, but I think they get through. I don't see them losing a 3-goal lead, especially by the way I saw them play against Inter on the previous round, on the play-in or playoff, however you want to call it. They done great against Inter Milan. I don't see them doing bad against Sporting, even though it's away. I think they might even go there and win 2-1. Don't put money on that. If you gamble, do not use my words to put your money on places. Please do not. I do not, promote that. Real Madrid, Manchester City. There is so many storylines on that one, and I don't want to be like that guy that's like, I told you, but there's something again. There's something with Madrid and the Champions League, and there's something with Guardiola when he plays Barcelona. When he was even when he was at Barcelona, but when he plays Real Madrid, that is like his kryptonite. He just cannot get past him, and I don't know what that is. And sorry about that, but he just suffers against him. And Valverde had such a game. Donnarumma, the first one, he should have stopped it. If you actually watch the game, he came out and he pulled his hand away thinking he was outside the box and he didn't want to get red carded. But he could have at least swatted away if his momentum was going to take him out of the box. But anyways, great goal from Valverde. The last one, my gosh, you would think that was Pelé. The way he was just doing all these numbers on the 6-yard box practically and just smashing it in. He shot one with his left. The second one was with his left. Great control. Or he was going away and just crosses it to the back post. If you are a player, those are the things to learn, the technique and the movement of how he started on the right hand side, and as Vini was going towards the middle, driving into the half space, and he just went across, like trying to occupy the same space. And when the ball came, he took that touch on that direction and he just crossed it. That was so beautiful to watch, guys. But the way City got decimated, I think Guardiola again just overthinking. Obviously, I am no one to question Guardiola's decisions, but when you see the midfield that Real Madrid put out, and you see what Guardiola did, and essentially having 4 strikers with Savinho, Semenyo, Haaland, and Doku, with only Bernardo Silva, the wonders everywhere because he's more attacking minded than anything else. He's a great player, don't get me wrong, but they almost planted a game where they were going to have all this dominance and control the heck out of Real Madrid, but instead they just keep putting balls in behind them. If nothing else, watch the first goal. The first goal, big ball in behind from the keeper. The assist was from the keeper. That tells you everything. Why? Because the team is too high. The center backs have to go up to cover the midfielders of Real Madrid, and that leaves a space open. The half space open for when Valverde touched the ball and got past O'Reilly, I believe is his name, the midfielder that's playing left back for Manchester City. And he takes the touch into the half space on that direction. Again, Donnarumma makes some mistakes, but still gets past him. If there was been a center back there covering the area, that clears it out and it's done. But no, game was so much going forward that they left themselves. It's kind of like they covered their head and uncovered their feet, and they got taken advantage of. I don't think Man City, like I told you, I think they're going to focus on the league because it's just like Guardiola's thing. He wants the Champions League, but his thing is the league, the consistency, the pride that comes with that. And again, Real Madrid are likely to put the kids on their game of the weekend just so they can have the full squad by the second game when they go away to Man City. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed the games. Make sure you watch these games. Make sure you watch the Real Madrid-Man City game, or actually it's going to be Man City against Real Madrid. Make sure you watch the Chelsea against PSG and the Barcelona against Newcastle. If you're going to watch any games, make sure you watch all those 3, and you will continue to love this. If you want to watch the Cinderella story, that's a wonderful story too. Bodo Glimt at Sporting, so Sporting against Bodo Glimt, that's going to be beautiful too. I love you guys. See you on the next one. Make sure you give a video a like. Make sure you send it to friends, share it, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care.